What's up, YouTube? It's Devine. Today I'm here with another video. I'm back today, and what I'm here to talk to you guys about is the divine appointments. So what you have to understand about life is this. On your walk with Christ, bro, on this journey, bro, there's always going to be tests. There's going to be trials, tribulations, bro. Unfortunate circumstances. There's going to be blessings, bro. There's going to be spiritual level ups. There's going to be, material level ups and blessings. You get what I'm saying? There's going to be all types of, it's a journey at the end of the day. There's always going to be things in your way, and you're not going to always understand it. You're not going to always, not even always, you're never going to see the full picture until it's drawn out, until it's completed. And the reason I bring up divine appointments is this. Sometimes you go through a season, right? And it's a season that you wish could have been over, a week ago, if it was up to you. And when you're going through this time, you're going through these trials and you're going through these obstacles, you always question why? We all do it. I do it all the time. Like, I get put in situations where things happen. I'm just like, bro, why? But the reason you go through these circumstances, or even the reason why you had certain addictions or why you had certain bondages, it was preparing you for those divine appointments that are coming in the future, that are coming on arrival. It's waiting for your arrival, I should say. And those divine appointments are situations where only you could be the one to fill in the blank, or you're the only one that is able to intercede or be able to resonate or be able to relate to somebody. This is when it's time for you to plant a seed. This is when it's time for you to have a situation of which you're being used as the vessel. You're being used as a vessel, right? And God's using you as that vessel to get out a message and to plant the seed for this specific person. And this is also a part of their journey for them to receive this so that they can prolong and continue to walk, or if they're not walking on the right path, this is that moment for them to go ahead and get onto that right path so that they can then be an example and then be a vessel and be used to do the same thing that you did for them. See, these divine appointments, it's never about the setting or the environment. And the reason I say that is because you might get put in a situation where you're at a job you don't want to be at, or you might have went somewhere that you typically wouldn't be, where you typically wouldn't go, around people, and you get into relationships. I'm not even saying like a romantic, but like you get into friendships, or you get into some type of business, or some type of relationship, some type of thing that you wouldn't normally be getting into if it was up to you. Okay? But it has a purpose and there's a reason. You're the only lock you're the only key that can, unlock that lock. You're the only person that's going to be able to get and resonate with this person. These divine appointments happen all through your life. There's all types of times there's times where you've been on the other end of it. You've also, because there's different types of divine appointments. One is the one that you're receiving, in which God's using a vessel to speak to you. And then the other, the other end of this stick is when God's using you to be that vessel to speak to someone. But what you have to understand is these divine appointments are based off of what God's plan is for you. There's a reason. You might go through a season, but what it is preparing you for is that divine appointment. You might be going through a season of lack, struggle, whatever the case may be. You might have been, met ends meet. You might be down bad, bruh. But you're going through this because your testimony of you being able to get through this is going to help that person that God is sending you to go ahead and get this testimony and relay this message to. And for some reason, you're the only one that is going to be able to get through to this person. You know, and on the other end, you might get put in that unfortunate situation, or you might get put down to your ends meet, or whatever the case may be, because it's going to cause a shift. It's going to cause a disruptance in your usual schedule and your usual behavior. And for some reason, that's going to align you, because this is all about alignment. It's going to align you and end up having your path go in a direction that you never thought it would have went, so that those people that God has as a vessel to come speak to you, they come speak to you and relay the message that God is trying to get, and you haven't been listening to anybody else, but for some reason, this specific person or these people or this community is helping open your eyes to what God's been trying to get you to see all along. And the only way that you reach these divine appointments is by being obedient, and you can't be distracted. And some of these divine appointments are literally with the Lord himself. I'll give you an example. For the past couple of days, right, bro, I don't know, like, I don't really get that good of sleep. If you could tell, like, I'm tired right now because I didn't sleep so good. But if you, hold on. But if you could, but anyway, that's nevertheless, what I'm saying is sometimes, but I couldn't sleep, right? And I had actually been sleeping better these past couple of weeks. And I noticed these past couple of days, bro, I just haven't been sleeping good, and I've been doing the same stuff I usually do to ensure that I sleep well. But I just kept waking up, bro, like early in the morning, bro. Like I'll be asleep. I'll wake up within like 4 or 5 hours of me, being asleep. And I didn't get why, and I couldn't really go back to sleep fully. And I'm like wondering why. But then I'm like, oh, I know why. Because God's calling me to pray. He's calling me, because this has happened plenty of times in my life. God's calling me to pray. He needs me to pray so that he can reveal something to me. But if I'm distracted, and the thing that's distracting me is the sleep. But God wants to see, are you going to be obedient? When God's calling you, it's the same with, when you're going through this season and, you're getting put on this path and this alignment. God wants to see, are you going to be obedient? Because a lot of the time, bro, when you have these divine appointments, it's in a situation that you really don't want to be in. It's not in a situation that you would have willingly put yourself in. But when you get put in these circumstances, if you're being disobedient and you're getting distracted and you're not listening to what God's telling you to do, you're not hearing God's voice and being sensitive to his instruction, you'll miss it. You won't hear him. And you'll continue to go down the wrong path or distract yourself and put off these appointments, bro, that are destined to happen, which could change how much longer you stay in a certain season. Because if you miss an appointment, you have to reschedule. You get what I'm saying? You got to reschedule. You might not be able to reschedule this appointment for another 10 months, a year. Like, that's really how the doctor works. Like, sometimes y'all see, like, you might try to get an appointment, bro. They don't got appointments till 8 months out. These divine appointments have a reason, because during the season, it's all about alignment. You're in this season, this person's in this season, but because y'all are both in this season, you're able to align and you're able to make this connection that never would have happened if y'all both weren't in this specific season, whatever the season may be that God put you in. So that's why these divine appointments are so important. That's why it's so important that you be obedient, that while you're in, especially during, like, it's during any season, whether you're in lack or you're in abundance. No matter if things are going well or things aren't. Whatever season you're in, bro, you have to always be on the lookout and always be sensitive and have your ears open to hear when Christ is trying to get to you and try to reach to you, because it's going to play a role in your next season, or you going to that next level. Whatever the instruction is, whatever happens in that appointment, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, only you know, you and God and the other person. But like I said, sometimes, like, you might have plans and you have this whole thing planned out. You're like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. God's like, nope, that's not going to happen. It's not going to go this way. I'm not going to allow you to walk through this path. Not even because it's bad, but because I need you to go and complete this mission. I got a side quest for you, and you got to complete it. And If I don't put you in this type of circumstance, you're not going to do it on your own. Not even because you're trying to not listen or whatever, but it's just like the way that you're operating and just all the things that you have going on, it might be a distraction. Like if you're focused on doing A, right, you're not gonna be able to even inquire or get the information that you need to be doing C because you're so focused on A. But if God removes A and he removes B because you try to go get onto B, you get what I'm saying? He closes that door. Now you're only able to go into C, option C, which is the option that he had for you all along, and it's for a purpose. So these divine appointments are important on your growth, bro. It's important for your growth. It's important for your growth because whether you're the one receiving or you're the one helping, you are gaining, right? You're gaining experience in the spirit. Because if someone's coming to you with information and you receive it and you take it, you're going to grow spiritually. If you are the one planting that seed, okay, and you're the one that's, giving the knowledge, you're still growing because, you're building up your resume. Like, okay, I know how to obey and be used by the Lord. When I show God I'm faithful with this and he can use me with this, that's giving prominent evidence to God that I'll be able to, show up for the next appointment and I won't be rescheduling. I'm not rescheduling appointments and things like that. I'm making those appointments on time. But the only way you're gonna be able to do that is to be spiritually sensitive and to be listening, to be ready. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. You're ready for it. And that's why you have to be careful not to be so distracted with jobs or relationships or just things of this world. Because at any time, God might need you to be used, bro. And like everything happens on God's timing. So his timing, like I said, you never know when God's going to call you to be used. Or you never know when God's calling you to go receive something. When he has a message for, when he has someone that he's trying to put in place for you. But if you are so distracted and you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. And that could set you back and keep you stuck in a season longer than you want. And a lot of us, we don't like being stuck in certain seasons. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with that here. But, like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already. And like I said, be on the lookout for these divine appointments because God's preparing you to receive one, or you're getting ready, or you to be on the receiving end, or he's preparing you to be the one that's on the giving end of this divine appointment, you being this vessel that's being used. So watch out for it. It's coming.